Tonight. He was truly one of the most filmed, recorded, and documented humans on our planet for most of his life. Let's face it, Muhammad Ali loved the cameras. So how is it that we are just discovering film that is truly one of a kind and historic? Well, we can all thank the archives of WHAS TV right here, and a producer for filmmaker Ken Burns, who discovered it for his upcoming 4-part documentary on Ali's life. So before the nation sees it on Sunday night, I thought I'd give you the very first look.
Born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky, who became Muhammad Ali, the most famous and recognizable person on the planet.
You tell it to your camera, your TV man, your radio man.
For a man known for his showmanship, loudness, and brash pronouncements, what we're about to show you, 6 silent seconds, is all the more remarkable. Oh, it's silent WHAS film, but he is anything but silent. It's 14-year-old Cassius Clay in Louisville. The Golden Gloves weigh in one day before his birthday, January 16th, 1957. This WHAS news film clip is a standout, impressing the longtime documentary producer Ken Burns. His documentary on Muhammad Ali is coming out soon. What do you think?
Unbelievable. There he is. Confident. This is great.
I'm sure that'll land in the
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Ken Burns came to WHAS television to view it in person.
Louisville is the place that he's born and the place that he's buried. Louisville is how we are defined by him. You can't take Louisville out of this equation.
I feel just over the moon that we have it.
Burns producer Stephanie Jenkins spent 2 months in the WHAS11 archives, thumbing through these red books, the handwritten logs of each day's newscast back then.
I went through and I read through every single one of these books, looking for any reference to boxing or Golden Gloves.
WHAS's legendary sports director, K. Wood Ledford, most likely entered his coverage of that day into this book by hand. He was reporting on Louisville's huge boxing scene at the time.
That's how I found what I believe is the earliest foot-moving image of him as just a 14-year-old. His birthday is January 17th, so it was the day before his 15th birthday.
The earliest moving footage of the brash teenager. He's talking and directing his point, and it hasn't been seen since it aired that day in 1957.
And many Americans started off hating him. You know, Cassius, the Louisville lip, all that sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden, for many people it flipped, and for many people it flipped the other direction. The pride went to negativity over his stance with regard to the draft.
Whatever the Burns team found and transferred, they gave right back to us.
Now, you're pretty personally close to the fight tomorrow night.
Like right here, February 1964. The buzz leading up to the then 22-year-old's fight with Sonny Liston in Miami. In Louisville, we interviewed his grandmother, Mrs. Herman Clay.
Does he mean everything he says?
No. He just keeps talking to be talking.
Will anybody listen to the fight with you tonight?
No, I don't want anybody. I want to be quiet.
His grandmother.
Well, I think that this is the great enigma. You begin to see the extent to which he himself admits to Frazier, to other people, you know, look, I'm just fooling around.
The WHAS news coverage humanizes the young boxer in ways we've rarely seen.
I think it's, again, really important to be able to connect with him as a kid, as a vulnerable but also extremely confident-looking teenager.
The nickname Louisville Lip? Here's Clay talking to K. Wood before a fight in Louisville. Clay is in his late teens, early 20s.
But this chump came up this morning, feeling my muscles, saying, this is a welterweight. Called me a welterweight.
From the very beginning, there have been people who've understood that age-old American thing, a kind of P.T. Barnum, that in order to get ahead, you need to sell yourself in that way. And he's in a proud tradition.
And with that, he then pours it on, looking right at his opponent.
Now, who do he think he is that he's going to get by? You must fall in two. The prediction is round two.
But it was the home movie film camera of Louisville's Henry Sadlow Sr. who captured another side of the young Cassius Clay and a hilarious moment. The plane arrives back to Louisville after Cassius Clay wins his first world title in Miami, February 25, 1964. Sadlow's son, cardiologist Henry Sadlow Jr., describes the film, which is a family prize.
So he's coming off the stairs, coming down from the private plane that flew him back, and his mother's waiting at the bottom in a fur coat. Miss Odessa Clay always wore a fancy fur coat, pretty lady.
The fighters' parents, Odessa and Cassius Clay Sr., are so proud of their son. Watch what she does. Places a crown on his head. He takes it off. She puts it right back on. He takes it off again.
And she's trying to put this crown on his head because he just was world champion. And he keeps wanting to take it off. He doesn't want her to mess up his hair. He was pretty, he was handsome.
But the treatment on the tarmac for the new king isn't over. His dad puts a cape around him, and the world champ isn't having it, takes it right off. 2 days later, Cassius Clay would change his name to Muhammad Ali.
My dad would take him to places in Louisville, and they would talk. It could get uncomfortable because of racial tension. And my dad said, don't worry, I'm a criminal attorney, I was prosecuting attorney, I know most of the police officers, we're going to be all right. He would reassure me.
The home movies show Ali proudly at the brand new house he bought his parents on Verona Way, a small street not far from Wildwood Country Club. He moved them out of West Louisville, and several of Sadlow's films show reunions at the house for when he would visit.
I think it tells us how friendly and how personable and how charismatic he was as a youth. You know, he was 20, 21, 22 years old.
Musically speaking, if he don't C sharp, he'll B flat.
It's remarkable to think that with such a heavily filmed and recorded figure on the planet, we're still uncovering treasures of Muhammad Ali. Like right here, showing up in the back lot of WHAS one day in 1972 to tell Kaywood why he lost a fight.
Not training right, or not living up to my religious convictions like I should, staying out late at nights and taking them for granted.
With an amazing admission about defeat that he turned into a life lesson for all of us.
The lesson is just what I needed, and we all at times get too proud or too cocky or get off guard, and that's just what I needed.
Always on, performing for the Sadlow camera in Miami, ever the showman. Ali knew how to bring down the curtain, even in silence. How great is that? Well, hey, we are not finished with the fascinating finds about Ali just yet. On Friday morning at 11 a.m., I'll be on WFPL's In Conversation with Rick Howlett here in town to talk about what else we've discovered here in the WHAS11 archives. Ken Burns will also be joining us on that show. It's 89.3 FM, WFPL, Friday morning at 11. I hope you can listen in.